What's going on, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be taking a look at Gengar EX, because every so often I like to check back in with this deck. Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon, and it's just a really cool card. I love the card art, I love everything about it. So, you know, and now's not a terrible time to play it either. We see a lot of Ogerpon in the format, and so every time Ogerpon uses its ability, it will take damage from the Gengar. A lot of decks need to attach energy from hand, which can be really disruptive, especially if they, let's say something like Dragapult, wants to put an energy down onto like a Dreepy early, and they don't have like double turbo or something like that, then we do get to stack up a good bit of damage, which is always nice. But Gengar has a really interesting ability with the Gnawing Curse, where whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, they take 2 damage counters. And then you have the attack Tricky Steps for 2 dark energy. You do 160 damage, which is fine. It's not great, but it does allow you to 2-shot everything in the format, more or less. So, you know, that'll work out in our favor. And what it actually does, though, that is pretty good, is that you may move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench. This is really good because right now a lot of decks that we kind of encounter in the meta don't really play a very high energy count, because they're like something like Dragapult is using the Sparkling Crystal, so that kind of mitigates their attack costs. But once we start moving these energies off, it can be really annoying for them to reset them and get back into it. Our A-spec of choice for this deck is going to be the Grand Tree. You can play Unfair Stamp, but I like Grand Tree, especially in the slower game state that we're playing in right now. And it also allows us to use Pidgeot, and, you know, Pidgeot's just broken. The Quick Search ability is super, super strong. And we're also comboing it with Budew, so that way we can slow the game down, be as annoying as possible. We have Radiant Alakazam to help spread damage counters around. And really what we're looking to do is just spread enough damage counters that we can go for a D-Evo later on in the game and just be super disruptive. One of the other things that we have is the Handheld Fan, where if we're attacked, we get to move a energy off our opponent's Pokemon onto something else. So between Tricky Steps and the Handheld Fan, we can be really, really disruptive with our opponent's energies. So if they do have like a random support mon on their board, like a Rotom or something like that, we can just start moving all the energies to that, kind of get them in a place where they're not really able to use them. We also run the Pokemon League headquarters. This is mostly just for a couple matchups right now, Raging Bolt in particular, and there are a couple things like Gouging Fire running around, so it's nice to have this as well, but it's not super needed, but I do think it's nice. Since we are running the Colress just to help get our Grand Tree, it's nice to just have another option as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the list. It's pretty straightforward. We are playing some dark patches to help accelerate some energy, but the list is overall pretty simple, so I don't think there's too much to continue to go over. So before we get into the games, I just want to give a shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way, and it means a lot. And I do have more kind of member exclusive content on its way, so be on the lookout for that. Oh, one other thing I should note, we are playing the Rotom V, so that way we can use that and also Sealstone, and the combination of Rotom V with Budew is really strong, because if we're going first, then we get to Rotom and buff up our hand. If we're going second, then we get to Budew and item lock, so it gives us an option regardless of what kind of ends up happening. But yeah, anyway, we'll jump into game number 1 in a second, but I just wanted to, you know, say thank you guys all for watching. You know, I know everybody doesn't always make it to the end, so I figured I'll just say this now. Thanks for watching. If you do like the content and like the video and the list, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in game number 1. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1. We're going to be going first. We'll see what we open. We'll be doing a mulligan here. Though, if this was like Gastly's and a Pidgey instead, that would be really good. But unfortunately, it is not, so, you know, we have to accept that reality. Cool card sleeves from our opponent. This is fine. Obviously, I'd prefer to have an energy, so if we could get an energy off the top deck, that would be phenomenal, because we could go energy onto the Gastly next turn, be able to go Rare Candy, and that would help a lot. We don't get a ton of value out of this. I'm fine holding on to the Grand Tree for now. Unfortunately, we just have to go instant charge, and that kind of sucks. But the main goal now is, like, we just want to get out as many, still not having any energy is really annoying. We want to have as many Gengar out as possible, because the advantage is that every single time they place an energy onto Chen-Pao, if we can have triple Gengar out, they'll literally KO themselves before they're actually able to get enough energy to knock us out. Which will be nice. Obviously, we'll have to deal with a couple things before that becomes a reality. But for now, we'll see. If they retreat and go Budew, that's obviously suboptimal, and I feel like that's what's going to happen, which is pretty annoying, all things considered. But we're going to be able to drop Iono here. Go Grand Tree to evolve our Gastly, Handheld Fan. So, we have options, but we're not happy about them. There's the Nest Ball we would have loved earlier. So I think the play is, like, we'll go Grand Tree first. Because knowing our luck, we'll go, like, Iono and draw double Haunter. And then just get stuck. So we'll do this. We'll go ahead and Iono. We do get an energy as well as a Budew of our own, but we don't really need to play that right now. Alright, we get the Earthen Vessel. That's at least one energy we'll be able to have, which will set up our Gengar. Obviously, we are kind of in a position where we just have to hope they don't get Frigibacks on this turn. They could be playing the stage 1 that I can't remember the name of and just go Grand Tree on it, which would be a little bit annoying, but that just kind of is what it is. If we get Budew locked again, then we just have to go Judge. They go Iono though. We do have the energy though, so that's good. We can get down another Gastly. It means on the next turn we can go Grand Tree, get ourselves another Gengar. Grand Tree can also be used on the Budew to get a barrel, which is what we see, which tells me they don't have the middle evolution, which means they need Rare Candy Excalibur. And if we get one more turn before that happens, that's going to be pretty big. Annoying Curse. We see the Itchy Pollen come out again. I'm less worried about that. We'll go Arven here for that, and I guess we'll grab the Buddy Poffin. Doesn't really matter because we can't play it right now anyway, but we just want to have it prepped, I guess. We'll go Tricky Steps here. The chances of us getting knocked out aren't too high. They are possible, though. We do have the Pecharunt, though, so that does mean that we can bring in Rotom if we have to. On the next turn, we'll be able to go Pecharunt down, Grand Tree for our Gengar EX. Go Dark Patch, energy attached to the new Gengar, come in, attack. Alright, well, we could have... I mean, I guess we still can because we have Seal Stone in order to go Nest Ball and get a similar play to happen, but it won't be exactly the same. Ideally, they go Iron Bundle with the Hyper Blower. We can sack our Rotom at this point, even if that means we give up Seal Stone, because we'll get double Gengar on board and be in a really good position. We see Grand Tree. for nothing. Because, yeah, they don't play the middle evolution. They're just relying on rare candies, which is pretty typical for Chen-Pao. Obviously, we'd love to have a second Gengar already set up, but that just wasn't an option. But without Baxcalibur, we're pretty safe. I assume the play is that they want to go like Torrential Pump, knock out the Gastly. I'm fine sacking Rotom. But I might not even have to do that. Obviously, it's unlucky for them that they haven't gotten into Baxcalibur yet. We'll go Gastly down. I think the play is we go Grand Tree, Haunter, Gengar, attach the energy, retreat, bring this in, and then we could go Boss's Orders, pull up the Frigibax, knock that out, and pretty much put us in a position that like guarantees the game. Or we could drop Headquarters. Yeah, alright. I think I'm fine with this play. We're gonna go Judge. Drop the Headquarters. Handheld Fan. Judge. Tricky steps. Where we put them in a position that attaching to energy will knock this out. They won't be able to attack with the Teal Mask. On our next turn, we can go Rare Candy, make a new Gengar. Yes, we need energy to start actually powering it up, but every single time they place an energy on the board, it's going to cost them 60 damage, which should kind of just stop them from being able to operate. Unless they switch, go Torrential Pump, and end up putting the damage onto this Gastly, then obviously restricted to 40, but even then. It's nice that we were able to play out of the Budew early. Annoying Curse. Our ability really does counter this deck pretty hard. But I also disagree with this build. Having one Wellspring is fine, but going two is something I don't think I really agree with. I think Bidoof is fine. I'd be actually curious to play Chen-Pao now. Post, like, Budew in the format. Because the problem is, like, the main issue for this deck is that you need so many items, and so, like, a late game Budew can really damage you. Alright, so they're going Sob just to lock this in the active. That's slightly annoying, but like not that big of a deal. The play from here is just to go instant charge. We have triple Gengar on board, so they can't keep attaching energies. We're not worried about them sniping the bench. And at any point they don't sob, we just set up the... At any time they don't sob, we just retreat. They finally make Baxcalibur. Superior Energy Retrieval. There goes their other Frigibax and another Rare Candy. The main issue is, like, if we go Buddy Poffin for, like, Pidgey to try to set up the Pidgeot, the issue is that they can just snipe it out. But I think that's fine, too. Yeah, they're about to take 60 damage. Because I think, yeah, I think we just go Buddy Poffin for double Pidgey, let them snipe one. Yeah, I don't think they were prepared for how much damage that was about to do. Because it's going to be 60 damage every time they apply an energy at this point. And for a deck that relies on energy from the hand, it's like this... There's no way this is going to be sustainable for you. All the Gengars are stacking up, baby. This is why I actually loved playing Gengar when it first came out. Because Chen-Pao was still a really popular deck. And this deck just counters Gengar really hard. Or, sorry, Gengar just counters Chen-Pao really hard. Because also, like, they want to go a barrel here to, like, draw as many as they can, which means they have to get the energy out of their hand. So they're just going to keep racking up the damage. I think this is also a really interesting ability. I'd like to see more things kind of like it. Yep, because now they're 10 damage away from just getting knocked out. If we can find ourselves Radiant Alakazam, we just take the knockout. And call it a day. We'll probably just move like 60 off this one. There's not really much they can do to win this game. They needed to get into Baxcalibur way sooner. And I think that's one of the other issues with Chen-Pao, is like, if you can't do that, you're just going to lose. There's an argument that Budew makes it a little bit easier, since now you can item lock your opponent early and make it so all you really need is like an Irida. I'd be interested to play Budew again, or Chen-Pao again. I actually covered it when the new like little icicle one came out. What did she just pick up? Oh, they're playing Palkia as well. I think a 1-1 Palkia line isn't a bad idea. It's like, it used to be running Chen-Pao, and then it was worse, so then you cut it. But now I think actually running like a 1-1 line isn't bad. One, because it grabs you energy from your discard, which is always good. It does give you a, you know, Wellspring option, but it also does give you the Radiant Greninja play. As well as right now, we see a lot of decks that are playing the, what's it called? There's an argument that we just go, like, Pecharunt, right? Alright, so I think this is going to be the play. We go Pidgey on this turn. Arven for Nest Ball Devo. The Devo is really just to get that out of our hand. We don't really care all that much. Grab ourselves Radiant. Throw an energy down. Go Painful Spoons. Knock out the Greninja. just to stop that from being a problem. And then what we can do from here is we'll go instant charge. If our opponent goes for the torrential pump to knock out the Pidgey, great, right? Like, that's totally fine with us. If not, we just start moving the damage with Radiant onto this Ogre Pond, just slowly but surely. If not, it gives us Pidgeot, and that gives us the option to go like boss's orders. I guess the argument is, like, I could have not played the Pidgey at all, just left the space open to get myself into Pecharunt, and then just attacked into this and won. I guess that could have been a better play. Got it. They're playing the multiple Wellspring so they can play the Area Zero. I actually don't agree with that. I think just playing Pokestop is objectively better. Unless this is looking to be kind of more of like a post-rotation list. But they're playing Heavy Ball. And I don't think the damage you get out of Area Zero is, like, worth not playing Pokestop. What's our play gonna be? If they go Hyper Blower again, we just sack the Pidgey. They go Concealed. I mean, they're going to deck themselves out before anything happens. That's the real issue. Like, we don't really even care what's in the active, because we just sit on triple Gengar. They can't make anything new. Unless they just want to, like, sit here and go Sob indefinitely. But even then, like I said, they'll deck themselves out before we do. Attach that energy there. Go Painful Spoons. Just start stacking up some extra damage. We'll go Rare Candy to the Pidgeot. Let's see what's in our deck that we might want. We'll grab the boss's orders. The main issue with it is that they do have Palkia, but we can boss the Barrel. I think it's going to be the play, because they can't use Palkia on that. We keep that trap for a turn, then we just go energy onto the Rotom Retreat. I think that would be fine. Because eventually, as they continue to sob, like, eventually they will knock us out, and then we come in regardless. Regigigas also helps this deck out. It just makes it a little bit cheaper, because you only need 4 energy in order to knock out things like Zard. I could see this deck being good again. Which is exciting, because I really do like Chen-Pao. I feel like they're just trying to, like, deck themselves out at this point. Oh, they do have Counter Catcher. They could pull up a Gengar, get it knocked out, but even then they can't actually manage that, because we have 60 damage every time they place an energy, so they'd KO themselves before they're able to get enough energy on board to actually KO us. Hyper Blower, we give up Radiant. Because, again, they're out of cards. We can just kind of pass at this point. We don't really care what's in the active. Are they just going to go Budew? Oh. I'm guessing they're just going to go like Subspace Swell. Knock out the Pidgeot. But you already know I have Boss in hand. Alright, well, that was their last little hurrah. We bring in our Gengar. Drop the boss's orders. Pull this up. Go Tricky Steps. Knock it out. And call that game 1. Very interesting to see Chen-Pao again, actually. I think there's things about it that I like. I think there's things about it that I'm not the biggest fan of right now in the current format. But it's definitely interesting. I might try it out again. Now that we have new cards, like specifically Regigigas, I think is really good. But yeah, that's game number 1. We'll jump into game number 2 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2. Our opponent won the coin flip, but opted for us to go first. We get Pidgey as well as Pecharunt. I think this is fine to just lead Pidgey for now. We do have Buddy Poffin. We see a variety of energies, so that kind of tells me Gholdengo. I think the play here is that we're going to look for a late game de-evolution. And we want to just get some Gengar set up as soon as possible. Do get ourselves a Dark Energy. Secret Arts is okay. I'm going to put one energy onto the Gastly for now. Pass. And then I think what the play is that we're going to go Arven on the next turn for Nest Ball Sealstone. Get ourselves Rotom Sealstone for Pidgeot. Rare Candy to Pidgeot. Use Pidgeot to search out Grand Tree. Use Grand Tree to get ourselves Gastly. Or, not Gastly. Use it to search ourselves out. Let's see what we get off this. Alright, cool. Let's make sure Rotom is in our deck. It is, so this plan should work just fine. Go Rotom. Sealstone. Go Star Alchemy for Pidgeot. Rare Candy to Pidgeot. Quick Search for our Grand Tree. I guess that's what I should have searched to see if it was prized. Dude, that's... Man, that is annoying. Alright. I guess we just go Haunter here then. Haunter down. Attach the energy, retreat, go Budew. Pollen to start the item lock. That's so annoying. Because, like, this could have been a full-powered Gengar on top of the item lock. Alright, so they go Brain. I assume they're just going to move the 10 damage. Yep. They could attach one. The benefit here is that they have no ability to play items. So if they have no energy, they have like nothing they can do that actually works in our favor. And then the goal from here would be, we'll just go Arven for Buddy Poffin and a Handheld Fan. Put the fan onto the Gengar. They go Call for Family. For Fez. Alright. We get this. I think it's fine to go Gengar here. The main thing is that I don't want to attack into the Gimmighoul, not end up knocking it out, and then they draw through it Fez. But I also don't have the ability to boss this up and knock it out either. So I think the play is that we like retreat here, go Arven for Buddy Poffin Handheld Fan. Buddy Poffin for double Gastly. We can hold on to the fan. Go Tricky Steps to knock this out. And then we'll move the energy onto the I guess the Dreepy's fine. We get ourselves a Rare Candy. That's actually nice because we can make ourselves a new Gengar right away. Because the main goal now is like we want to just keep moving energies so that way they don't have them stacked up in the discard pile to go like Superior Energy Retrieval on later on in the game. You can flip the script. That obviously is annoying. But they don't have any damage on the board to go Monkey Dory with. When they attach the energy, we will obviously lose our Budew. But that just kind of is what it is at this point. They go Fighting Energy, which means they won't be able to attack us this turn. But it does mean, obviously, we lose our Budew. But if they don't get any other Gimmighouls down, attacking into this is totally fine for us. But yeah, this, like a lot of rogue decks though, Budew really does help this deck out a lot. Obviously, there's elements of it, like right this very second, where it's not helping us a ton. If they got that off their prize cards, that's pretty annoying. But the main goal here is like if we just knock out the Gimmighoul, like if they're not able to evolve, that will be really, really big for us. Because obviously without Gholdengo, this deck doesn't really function. And then we're just going to have to use like a late game Pecharunt to knock out the, like, take the final prize. The goal here at this point is like we just need 3 prizes, so Gimmighoul is going to be one of them. We have to set up a new Gengar to go into next. So on this turn, I think the play is like we go Gengar here. Make that. We can go Handheld Fan. Secret Arts to both of these. That way we're getting them both prepped. will attack into this, taking the energy and throwing it onto the Dracloak. The Tenacity doesn't really matter, unfortunately. They bring in the Dracloak. This is just to retreat it to try to get the metal energy in the discard pile. But the benefit that we're going to run into is that when they attack us with the Gholdengo, they're going to need to discard a lot of energy to hit the 310 number, which is obviously nice for us. But on top of that, we will have the Handheld Fan to move the metal energy off, forcing them to have to regain that later on. So that could end up helping us out. Our line right now is either to 2-hit one Gholdengo, then go Pecharunt to knock out the Fezandipiti with a boss combination later on. They are playing Dragapult. That's shocking. I'll be honest, I was not anticipating that. And they're playing Crispin. Alright, well, we're about to lose a Gastly here. That's certainly interesting. This actually works out for us, though. So they're going to go Brain here, move 30 damage off. I'm not really concerned about that. That can go anywhere. They are going to be able to go Phantom Dive here, deal 200, and then knock out the Gastly. But we're going to be able to go Pecharunt. And then we can go Pidgeot for Iono or Judge. Either one will work kind of the exact same for us. I'm actually fine going Judge. Then, because when they attack us, Handheld Fan will move the Psychic Energy off and put that onto one of the Gimme Ghouls, because that doesn't really matter. Because it needs Steel Energy to attack anyway. And then when we attack with the, when we attack into this, we go and move the Fire Energy off with the Tricky Steps. We just throw that onto the other Gimme Ghoul. Put it in a position where this can no longer deal damage. It can retreat out, but it will be in range that we can go for a TM de-evolution later on. So we'll go Fire Energy. We'll place this down. Go Quick Search. Judge to reset. Okay, energy onto this. We can place this down. There's an argument to be made that we can go... I'm going to go Chains here. Bring this in just to preserve this. go Tricky Steps, where we move the Psychic Energy onto this Gimmighoul. Now, there's no way that this does enough damage to KOS. If they retreat it, that's fine. We're really just looking for like a single energy. And then we can go Pidgeot for Devo. Even moving the 30 damage, it's not enough that even if this does find a way to attack us, it won't really matter. I'm surprised I haven't gotten into either Goldango at this point. But the other benefit here is, like, because of the damage we dealt, we don't actually KO them, so they can't use Fezandipiti. Obviously, the Monkey Dory does take us out of KO range, which is a little annoying. But not that big of a deal. I'm curious what they go Arven for. Team Evo. Alright, so this will get them double Gimmighoul. Or double Goldango, rather. So the play at this point is just to set up Pecharunt. Because, like, we can let one of these Gengars go down. And on the upcoming turn, what we'll do is we'll go Pech to bring in the Gengar with only 80 HP left. We'll bring that in as a thing in the active. Yeah. Alright, so this is going to be the play. At this point, the main goal is just to get Pecharunt powered up, because if they knock out our Gengar, then we can bring in Pech and get the KO. They go Earthen Vessel. Get rid of the Night Stretcher. For what? Fire and a Steel. The main issue for them is that going for the Metal Energy here doesn't actually benefit them, because, like, let's say they retreat, bring in Goldango, they still don't have the energy to attack with. They go Switch. So they choose not to retreat. They go Make It Rain for an additional 50. We see Metal Energy. We just move that back onto this. We go Subjugating Chains here. Bring in this because it will survive kind of regardless. Let's go Quick Search. We can guarantee Haunter. don't think we really need to do anything else, right? Or actually, I think the play is like we just have to start powering up the Pecharunt. It's like the most important thing we can do. We can go Ultra Ball, get rid of these. Use that to grab ourselves the Haunter, I guess. Just to protect this from a random, like, damage drop. And then we'll just throw the Fire Energy onto this. Why not? Doesn't really matter. This won't have a way to retreat. The Monkey Dory won't have enough damage to move. So we're pretty much good to go. I'm very curious why they're playing the Dragapult EX. I could understand playing the Dracloaks as like a draw engine. I also don't think bringing in the Goldango there was the right choice. But I think what they wanted to do was put this in range that if they could repower up the Dragapult, they would just knock out both Gengars, like boss this up, put the last bit of damage on, attack into that, and then place the 60 here. But it's like still not really gonna work. Iono gives both, you know, both of us 4 cards to work with, though. Unfortunately for them, that just gives me the energy I need in the D-Evo. Which, at bare minimum, knocks out this and this, which is the 2 prize cards I need. Energy Search Pro. This is where, if I had another Gengar, that'd be huge. But, unfortunately, I do not. Let's see, what did they actually get from that? They actually didn't even get any energy that matter, because they can't attack with it. We have the 2 steel energy this deck normally runs stuck on the Dragapult. Which is one of the things about this deck that, like, is annoying, like, that you can force them to kind of have to manage, is that for as much energy as the deck plays, they only run the steel energies. And so attacking into you or being able to get that attack off actually does matter. We'll hold on to the rest of this. I think right now what the play is we can go Boss's Orders. I don't think we need to yet. Kenner won't matter. We don't want to play Headquarters. Yeah, none of what we have, like, really matters all that much. I guess the play could be to retreat this out. Yeah. So we're going to retreat this out. Bring this in. Go Iono. Go Devo. Because we want to just make sure we're giving up as little prize cards as possible. There's Grand Tree. It doesn't really matter. Because we just need to take 2 more prizes. If they place energy onto this, you know, we'll be fine. If they find a way to knock out the Gengar on our bench, then we bring in Pecharunt, and we're fine. So I think the outcome's more or less the same. We just wanted to make sure we got rid of, like, Dragapult. Obviously, that does open up the potential for Superior, so they could get the Metal Energies back. But then, yeah, so they go Superior here. So I guess we could have not done that, I guess. We could have just knocked out the Goldango, which would have kept the Metal Energy stuck. And maybe that would have been the better play. But if they attach the Metal Energies, if they attach the Metal Energy here, they take the 40, they go down to 220, which will allow Pecharunt to come in and KO it. So I think it doesn't really matter. Like, our backup plan of, like, using Pecharunt for the final KO, I think works all the same. Because we can also just boss up the Fezandipiti. Which is kind of the original plan, is like we just want to lose our active, bring in Pecharunt, boss up Fez, knock that out. And that will be even easier if they go Crispin to power up the Fezandipiti. And go like Cruel Arrow. But obviously they can't do that on this turn regardless, because they already attached the Metal Energy. We see coin bonus for 2. I think they're trying to find a way out, but I don't think there is one. The only... Yeah, there's no way out. I was going to say, they'd have to take 4 prizes in this turn, and that's just not going to be possible. Where it's like they could go Counter Catcher to pull this up, but even then, like, they don't do... Like, they knock this out, but that doesn't do enough for them. So now we bring in our Pecharunt. We'll check the damage. 180, which is enough to KO this, because what we'll do is go Ultra Ball, get rid of this and this, to grab ourselves our Radiant Alakazam. Place this down, go Radiant, to move the 20 onto the Fez. Then we go Quick Search, grab ourselves our boss's orders, boss this, Subjugating Chains, or Outburst rather, where we do the damage we need to get the KO. There's the other Gengar we wanted that was prized, but it's fine. So our plan to use Pecharunt as our final against the Fezandipiti, that was always kind of in play, worked out just fine. The Dragapult EX kind of threw us off, and there's an argument to be made that we should have not knocked this out, because it did have both of the Steel Energy, which kind of eliminated Goldango from being a threat. But at the same time, we had to make the assumption that they play another Crispin, and if they were able to get Dragapult powered up with the Crispin through, like, the other Fire Psychic Energy, which I'm not sure if they ran, but, like, we have to assume if they're playing the Dragapult that there would have been a way for them to acquire it, especially if we have to knock out the Goldango that turn anyway by attacking into it. Then we run the risk of, like, this attacks and knocks out both Gengar, and playing around that would be much, much harder than having to play around the scenario that we were in. So we just had to kind of take our best chance, because playing around the Dragapult would have been much scarier. But yeah, that's game number 2, and we'll jump into game 3 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and we're going to be going first. We won the coin flip. This is a very awkward hand we have here, though. We see Fluttermane. Interesting, interesting. We'll leave Budew in the, or Pidgey in the active, because we do have the Pidgeotto to evolve. I think we go Sealstone, or we go like Nest Ball, Sealstone. I'm not really sure we'd want it to get us, though. There's a Pokégear for Vitality, but the Vitality doesn't do anything for them, at least not yet. They retreat. That's a good play, because now they can go Vitality, attach the energy. If they don't get another energy, we're in a good spot. If they have one, then, you know, 'tis what it is. We do see an Iono here. Honestly, that's pretty good for us, because we don't really have any options we want to do. So I think I'm fine going Iono. We'll reshuffle our hand. This is actually fine for us, because we do get the energy on to that. We can go Buddy Poffin here, set ourselves up 2 more Gastly, which is something that is going to be good for us. And then we'll retreat, place this down, and go Itchy Pollen. Helps us set up a little bit of damage. We see the Guidance. The nice thing here is that we'll be able to go Ultra Ball, get ourselves the Pidgeotto, or sorry, the Pidgeot. Use Pidgeot to find ourselves Grand Tree. Grand Tree one of the Gastlys into a Gengar. Then use Arven. Try to find ourselves a second. We can go for like Ultra Ball and get ourselves a couple other options. We see Palpat into the discard. That's pretty good. Dark Patch obviously helps them. Start to power up the Roaring Moon. $140. Bring in the Pidgeotto. Okay, evolving straight into Pidgeot, really nice. Do we need the Nest Ball for anything now? I think we go Handheld Fan here. Alright, Grand Tree's not prized. Earthen Vessel. Place this down. We can go ahead and get rid of this. Quick search for our Grand Tree. That'll get us a new Gengar. Attached to that. Go Ultra Ball. Get ourselves another one. Evolve, retreat, bring this in. Go Tricky Steps, where we get to attack. Obviously, we'd prefer if that knocked that out, but it's fine. We're going to move the damage onto the Flutter Mane, or the energies onto the Flutter Mane, because we don't really care about its attack. It doesn't do anything that's going to matter. Them bumping the Grand Tree is, like, minorly annoying, obviously, but not the worst thing to ever happen. See a Monkey Dory. Earthen Vessel down. Get rid of a Guidance. 2 energies. They can attach to the monkey. There's a Vitality as well. Pokestop gets them Night Stretcher. Earthen Vessel. What's going to be nice about this, though, is that we, after this, you know, after their turn's over and they attack, we're going to be able to go Pidgeot EX for Judge. Them manually attaching to this and not the Monkey Dory is definitely helpful. Because it does give me time. There's still 1 energy in their discard. I really like that Roaring Moon EX art. I think it's really good. There's the attack. We move the energy onto that. Ideally, we could go like Rare Candy, or like we can go Gengar for the Rare Candy here. But I think what we really want to do is just go Judge. Reset their hand. We get to be really annoying right now and go Pokestop. Or, I'm going to spin the Pokestop and see. Cool. So we get to make that, which will be nice for whenever they do have to attach energies. We can throw down the Pecharunt here as well. We also get to go Pokemon League Headquarters. This is also really nice. And then we'll throw that energy onto the Flutter Mane. Grab ourselves 1 prize, which is a Budew. That's actually pretty nice. Obviously, the Flutter Mane being able to attack into us is, like, annoying. But it's not that big of a deal. We just want to keep energy out of their discard pile because it stops them from being able to use Vitality. And every time they have to manually attach energies, they're going to be taking 60 damage. We see them get rid of 1 Vitality. There's the Pecharunt. Pretty much what the main play is going to be is, like, we just need, on this upcoming turn, we're going to go Pidgeot for Super Rod. Super Rod back in the 2 energies and the Radiant Alakazam. Or, not the 2 energies, sorry. We'll do, like, Radiant Alakazam, but do 1 energy. Because we want to make sure we have late game Budew enabled. That's going to be very important for us. There's a Fezandipiti. Because we want to make sure that we have a target that we can knock out the Fez with. So powering up this Pecharunt EX is going to be important. One of the things right now is that them not having a way to clear the Pokemon League headquarters is very important. It's going to kind of be shutting them down for a little while. Obviously, in this case, it's a little bit less because they can go for that. We are going to move the energy. Yeah, I think the play here is that we move it onto the Fluttermane again. Because it still requires one more energy for them to, like, be able to attack with. We'll lead Pidgeot. If we could top deck Dark Patch, that would be great. Because, obviously, there's other outcomes that I would greatly prefer. But it's fine to go Dark Patch here. And I guess we'll just grab the Devo. Doesn't really do a ton for us, but it's fine. We go Quick Search. We can grab Fezandipiti of our own. Go flip script. We do get the Super Rod. I think it's fine to do this. And Budew, just because we really are going to want that. Because they, like I said, they're kind of running out of time. Yeah, we go tricky steps here. Knock this out. Move one of the energies onto the Fluttermane. Take another prize. There's the Nest Ball, which will get us the Radiant Alakazam. Obviously, we were trying to keep as many energy out of the discard pile as possible, just so that way they don't have Dark Patch targets and they don't have, like, Vitality enabled. Which is going to be the same play. The goal upcoming is to just kind of boss around this and just keep this, you know, where it is. They do go Vitality here, though, and we see that they don't have... Pokégear was already used. They have 1, 2, 3... Yeah, they are going to end up decking out. Unless they have a Palpad or something right now. They go Pokestop. It does allow them to break the headquarters. They retreat. Bring in the Roaring Moon. This doesn't really matter. I think they don't have anything left to do. We go Gnawing Curse, place a little bit of damage. It's not really relevant. Yep. And they are out of cards, which works out in our favor. Obviously, they kind of just decked out because they couldn't attack us, so they were losing time, and the things they needed, because we kept stacking the energy and stopping it from being in the discard pile, they couldn't go Dark Patch, and they couldn't go Vitality, so they're forced to go Explorer's Guidance, and that just kind of cuts through their deck. They don't have Palpad, so they can't reset. I'm assuming their Super Rod was prized, maybe. But yeah, that's going to be game number 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a ton of fun. Gengar is always great. I actually like that we got like a good variety of matchups today. That was actually pretty fun. We don't always see that on the ladder. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend trying it out yourself. If you're interested in trying the deck, it'll be down in the description below. Be sure to let me know any changes that you'd make to it. I think Gengar is really, really fun and not in a terrible place right now. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Be sure to let me know what you guys want to see next. And, you know, have a good rest of your day. Peace.